5 is the thalamus. You know what the thalamus does?
Several things. Oh, shoot. I have the epithalamus and hypothalamus.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay, so thalamus. Have you ever seen the dancing bear video on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how you like watch, you're trying to like count how many times they pass the ball and
teams.
stuff? So that's how the thalamus kind of works. You're so focused on certain things that your brain goes, I shouldn't have to focus on all this other stuff because it's really not important, and it happens all the time. And so with that video, you focus on all the passing, and there's a bear that passes by, you don't even notice it because your brain just filters it out, right? So this is in charge of like all your senses. Oh, where's it down there? All senses but smell. But smell or olfactory is what they'll usually refer to it as. And it's, just think of it as a giant filter. So are you in any close association with like somebody who's autistic?
Yeah.
Or seen somebody? So like they'll walk into a crowded room and they'll just start like looking at the ground right away. And like if it gets too loud, they like have to leave or they'll start throwing a fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because their thalamus doesn't really filter everything out. So they take a whole bunch in. So rather than just saying, oh, Caitlin's sitting here at the table, they're noticing you, the trash can, the paper, all this stuff going on. So oftentimes they will avoid eye contact just because looking at the carpet's easier. So things like that. So they have you call it like a underactive thalamus because it doesn't do all the filtering it needs to. All right, number 6. This one is the epithalamus. I'm trying to think of where I drew this here. I'll pull up another picture.
Enough notebooks?
My notes are horrible. I just write everything everywhere. Super bad habit. I don't need this, I just want to be 100% positive. We can do without it. Okay, so you have your thalamus. Thalamus is above it, right? Above the thalamus. Is it right here? Pretty sure it's the hypothalamus. And then the epithalamus is just below it. Does that sound right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, how are they written?
Well, just know it's in the middle of the area,
Okay.
right? So 6, epithalamus. And this is in charge of 2 things. So your habenula and your pineal body. Have you heard of either of those in class yet?
Yeah. The hypothalamus, right?
Uh-huh.
Is their emotional response to food. And the pineal body is your biological clock, sleepiness, onset of puberty.
Yes. So what's it release to help you sleep?
Same stuff that releases.
So this one is going to release melatonin.
Okay.
Okay, so we go pineal body it senses darkness. So if you've taken any like exercise phys classes, it helps with like your circadian cycles, I guess, like the cycles of sleep. Senses darkness, then it releases melatonin, and melatonin is what makes people sleepy. So when you get dark, it's your pineal body saying, oh, it's bedtime, and starts releasing melatonin. So this is an emotional response to smell, which is why your teacher would say food.
Okay.
And yeah, have you ever like walked into a room before and you like smelled something, you're like, oh, that reminds me of grandma's house or something like that. So yeah, that's the habenula. I thought I had something else written down for this. I don't know, smell to memory. So just know 6 is around here somewhere.
Okay.
Does that work? And 7. So 7's gonna be running out of space on here. Hypothalamus. What's the hypothalamus do?
It has the two parts, right? Mammillary bodies in
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you need to know those here. I'm trying to think. So what was it? Mammillary bodies?
Mm-hmm. The olfactory reflexes, an emotional response to odors, recollective memory.
Okay. And then the other one was infundibulum?
Yeah.
Infundibulum. Okay.
Just controls endocrine system.
Yeah, so when we think of number 7, think of it as the queen bee. That's not bee. So this is like the queen bee of the entire brain. This one's in charge, the head honcho. He calls the shots. So something's going wrong with the body, the hypothalamus will release hormones and different things, and it solves the problems. It's a big problem solver. So the hypothalamus is very in charge of your body. So you don't want it to be damaged at all. Okay, so it releases chemicals to the pituitary gland, and then that's where the endocrine system kind of takes off. So number 8, we could just kind of draw it. I don't know. It's all over the brain because it includes like your optic nerves and a whole bunch of other things. But we'll just draw it as if it's like right there because it's in the middle as well. We'll consider it the middle. And the limbic system is what?
Basic survival functions.
Yeah, basic survival functions. It's a natural man too. So anything that's inappropriate to do in public, the limbic system's in charge. I think I spelled it wrong. Yeah. It's in charge. So yeah, when they say the natural man is the enemy to God, the limbic system is the enemy to God, right? So if you put this on like a spiritual level, really your whole goal is to get your prefrontal cortex stronger than your limbic system.
Okay.
That way you can be Christ-like, because that's the opposite of Christ-like, right? All right, frontal lobe. We just talked about it. My numbers are going like all around. Sorry, it's probably throwing me off.
Another thing. Voluntary movement, decision making, and personality.
Yeah, so they call it the executive reasoning center. So anything that's like gonna make you act like a civilized person is done there. So your limbic system will naturally say, "Oh, that guy just bumped into you. Beat him up," and then you have to think, "All right, it's not a big deal." And that's your executive reasoning center, just kicking in, saying, "Okay, let's be realistic. We probably shouldn't do that." And so your limbic system's gonna fire EPSPs, saying, "Okay, let's go do this," and then your prefrontal cortex right here has to fire IPSPs back and overwhelm those.
It's calm down.
Yeah.
Inhibit.
Yep, inhibits it. Okay, we've got this guy. What's this?
Parietal lobe.
Close.
Dang it.
It's kind of like the frontal lobe still.
Okay.
We just call this the premotor.
Okay.
Premotor planning. And so if I'm planning something, say I think to myself, all right, I gotta pick up that notebook, like that. That just sent signals to the prefrontal cortex to do that. So, oh yeah, let me put motor over here too. So if this is damaged in my brain, I can't just like think about doing that. Like if I were to go shave, I didn't shave today. If I were to go shave, like the only way I could really do it if that part of my brain is damaged is if somebody takes a razor to my face and starts doing this with my hand, and then they let go, and I'll just keep doing it because I don't have to think about it. It's already happening. That makes sense?
So would it be that you just do them in the same spot over and over again, or you would do?
Probably, actually. Yeah, I don't think you'd change much.